It's been probably college size for the last 2 years, so hard to play against a guy like that.
I think both teams tonight feature a good similarity of height. I think a lot of players who will see the court tonight will match up greatly with one another. Here's a three-point shot, good, and Smith Holly feeling himself after that shot.
Yeah, he's going to be a real problem for years to come, and Richwoods kind of has their future intact with that young man.
We haven't seen Anthony Moore yet, but he will certainly come off the bench as Stowers once again draws another foul. He was 2 for 2 on his first free throw attempts, and he'll get 2 more.
And obviously Richwoods, they don't want to get into foul trouble too early, but you don't blame him. You know, you got to make Stowers earn him at the line. He's a pretty good free throw shooter, but you don't want to be giving up easy buckets in a game like this. So definitely good the challenge. Richwoods has a deep enough bench. They can go there if they get some guys in foul trouble. But credit to Stowers for just taking it all the way. And he didn't make that free throw, so half paid off there for the Knights.
Checking in, as I mentioned, it was Anthony Moore in for Craven Bailey, who picked up his second foul already. Only about halfway through this first quarter, and Bailey is forced to sit on the bench. Bailey is also a former Peoria High player. That jump shot no good by Moore. Rebounded by a Knight. That was Kingston Caldwell, left the floater short. And here comes the Lions, little 2-on-1. Stowers, whistle, and an offensive charge.
Talk about full head of steam. Well, they had the right guy down there in the other end. That's Marlon Herron. So 2 seniors that are not afraid of the moment, and Herron just steps in there. Looks like Stowers kind of lowered the shoulder a little bit. You can be the judge at home, but the stripes here say it's going back to the Knights.
And the Richwoods faithful really got excited over that play. I mean, you see your senior leader take a charge on, Peoria High's best player. That floater no good. So far we're seeing Caldwell just a little short on his float attempts.
Yeah, you got to work out some of the jitters, some of the nerves. Obviously, both teams seem like they're playing at a very, very high clip right now. I'd expect the game to kind of settle in a little more as we get into it, not even halfway through the first quarter.
So far a good one, though. All tied up 7 apiece. Stowers dumps it off underneath. Instead, they'll work it back around. Here's Russell. Sturdivant, his three-point shot. Got it. And Sturdivant getting the Peoria High student section involved.
Yeah, if Peoria High's hitting three-pointers tonight like that, they're going to be a real problem, Owen. They can shoot threes with the best of them. Probably just about everybody on the floor can knock down a three at any point, so Knights got to run them off the three-point line.
I think we have a good balance of scores in this game. Guys that can get it from deep range, mid-range, and attack the basket and get to the free throw line.
Yeah, no doubt about that, and you love those multi-tool guys. Neither of these teams are one-trick ponies.
Caldwell not sure who he was looking at and throws it into the Peoria High student section.
It's a neutral site, but obviously coming from both very close distances, and both teams are going to have a lot of fans show up. You got 2 great student sections that come out here. They've been loud, they've been active. That has an impact at the high school level, Owen. Getting the players' ear a little bit, that definitely can throw them off.
It does, especially when you got some of the rowdier students in that first row right next to the court. You get someone in the corner, and underneath, Foy with the slam.
Phoenix Foy, we need to talk more about him. He has been just such a key part for the Lions all year, really the glue guy.
Hard take to the rim was no good. Rebound goes back to the Knights. Smith Holly left it short. High bounce. Marlon Herron gets the third chance for the Knights. Puts up a shot and got it. Took 3 tries, but the Knights get a basket.
Those offensive boards are really going to come in handy for Richwoods. They need every point that they can get. They need to just hang around if they want to have a chance in this one.
And so far the difference, I think, between now and the last matchup, as we'll get a whistle on the court, that first quarter back on January 17th was a very slow start for Richwoods. I believe they only scored 4 points in the first 6 minutes of the 8-minute quarter, and just across the first quarter, I think they had 10 points, but it just took a long process to really get going in that game. So far, they're putting up points at a decent rate.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I think that they've really found their stride, and that was a month and a half ago, Owen. So, they've come a long way. Look at Smith Holly really getting active on defense.
Outstanding defense by the freshman, pokes it away. Here come the Knights. Smith Holly with the rock, spin move, jumper, good. My, oh my. Amarian Smith Holly does not play like a freshman.
Not at all. I just can't wait to see him with a couple more years of experience.
Stowers with an emphatic attempt at a slam, but did not get it. However, he'll get to the free throw line.
And he's been to the line a lot. This is his third trip already in this one, and I think before it's all said and done, he's gonna get his dunk at some point. He's been looking to tear that rim clean off here at Allison Gymnasium. He just wants to take it home as a souvenir.
So far, Stowers is getting to the free throw line often, and if you're Coach William Smith, you like that you're forcing hard buckets, but now he's just getting points without anybody in his face, really.
No doubt, and a couple of missed free throws early on for Stowers, so hopefully if you're Peoria High, that doesn't come back to bite you later, but they maintain the lead.
Smith Holly once again resetting the offense. Muhammad Williams with it. He had a great game Wednesday night. Didn't stand out offensively, but his defensive work on Cole Du Bois of East Peoria really helped them win the game.
Again, that was a great experience for them. East Peoria's young too, but they're dynamic and really a good test. And a charge, that's 2 on Stowers.
Stowers with another charge. You can go back and look at the replay of that, but maybe good acting. I'm not sure who it was on Richwoods, but he gets the call, and that's going to be a big one because now Stowers is going to have to find a way to play with foul trouble here in the first half, and he goes to the bench.
Yeah, I think that was Muhammad Williams, and for a young guy, he's probably seen a few things from his predecessors on selling it a little bit, but hey, the ref called it. You got the call, and you sent the best player to the bench for Peoria High.
You got to do what you got to do, and for Smith Holly, misses the free throw. Did a great job getting his own shot. Now Heron with it. Clock under a minute here in the first quarter. Great 13-11 start in this 3-8 regional title. Marlon, pick and pop, got it. Marlon Heron with a huge three gives the Knights a 1-point advantage.
What a swing right there. Now Peoria High got to figure something out. They've gone a little bit stagnant.
We've got a whistle, and now we'll go against Kingston Caldwell, his first. Caldwell, a senior, transferred from Dominican High School in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And tell you what, Gavin, I'm from the Wisconsin area, so I know how good of a program Dominican has been.
Yeah, that was a big get for Richwoods, and again, lost so many players last year. Obviously, this is a totally different team, but I think going all the way back to the beginning of the season, Owen, many people didn't have Richwoods high on their list of teams, with everything that they had departing. So what a way for the Knights to just get back into it and kind of chart their own path here in 2024-25.
All notched up here at 14, under 25 on the clock. We'll see if the Knights want to settle for final shot of the quarter.
I think you'd want to. You played a great first quarter, but he takes a foul, and kind of another borderline call. We've seen a couple of those going both ways. The Richwoods might have got bailed out, not in the bonus yet, so Knights still have an opportunity for the last shot.
That was Nigel Moore, freshman for the Lions, that thought he got a clean pick, but did not. Not according to the referees tonight. 12.8 on the clock. Here's the Knights. They'll run an inbound. Smith Holly was the inbounder, now gets it back. Down below is Moore. Tried to turn around, he got fouled. That might be on Jacob Duffin. And it will be.
Yeah, good take right there. I believe it was a shooting foul.
Looks like they're going to say it was on the floor.
That's a little surprising. It looked like he was going up for a shot, but Richwoods still an opportunity to try and throw something up here.
Here's Smith Holly, down to 1 second. His three-point shot, no good. 1 quarter down here at East Peoria. It's a tie ball game, 14-14. We'll be right back after this break.
Sweep-A-Lot takes care of your pavement sweeping needs for your parking lot or landscape. Sweep-A-Lot is backed by Purdue Pavement Solutions, trusted for paving, sweeping, and parking lot maintenance.
The Bob Grimm way starts with us.
The Bob Grimm experience, what I like is that, you put customers first, make sure we meet every expectation and make a long-lasting relationship with them so that, they know that we're here for them and for their friends and family.
Don't try to put someone in a car that is not going to work for them. If you don't have what they want, try to get it, the proper vehicle. Again, just treat people the way you'd want to be treated and a fair deal.
That's the Bob Grimm way.
Hi, I'm Jim Arnold with Wayne Dalton Sales and Service. Improve the curb appeal of your biggest investment, your home, with a new Wayne Dalton garage door. Or for repairs on your existing door, call us for service even on Saturdays. Wayne Dalton Sales and Service. It's in the name because it's what we do.
And welcome back to Class 3A Regional Title here in East Peoria. 1 quarter down, and it was a great one, Gavin. I mean, 2 teams that are really battling on that hardwood floor.
Yeah, no doubt, Owen. They really put their heart and soul into that first quarter, all knotted up. So, and in theory, a brand new ball game, but a little bit of foul trouble both ways. Both teams have a player with 2 fouls, most notably LaShawn Stowers has 2 fouls, so keep an eye on him.
Stowers, 2 fouls, scored plenty of points thus far. And for the Knights, it's Craven Bailey, the former Lion, with 2 fouls. Here's Smith Holly going to work, guarded by Sturdivant. Spin move, could not get the layup, rebounded by Stowers, who's back into the game.
Yeah, I don't think you can afford to have him out, and probably going to play a little more conservative the rest of the half. But he's being hounded by Muhammad Williams.
Muhammad Williams, that's just what he's done so far in the playoffs, and drives Sturdivant out of bounds, and they're going to say a push.
Might have caught him with the lower body, kind of forced him out of bounds as he was trying to turn the corner. Half the fans like it, half the fans don't. That's what you're going to get all night, but it's packed house here, so they're going to hear about it either way.
Yeah, you're going to have that. I mean, a lot of people say when it comes to something, you want 80-20. You want 80% of people to be happy and maybe 20%. When it comes to sports, it's always going to be 50-50.
That is for sure.
And the basket underneath, I believe that was Jacob Duffin. Just another freshman for the Lions that has really done a great job this season. Head coach Daniel Ruffin is really excited what this young group can do, and he's just excited. Not many coaches get to have a group like this. 3-point shot, too much from Muhammad Williams, and brought in by the Lions.
Yeah, Daniel Ruffin definitely can see what's coming in the future, even past this year. But they'd love to make some noise the rest of this postseason. Special senior class for the Lions right now, and they'd love to go out with a bang.
Heron, a deep 3, no good. Knocked away. It's either Sturdivant or Foy. It'll stay with Richwoods' possession. Checking in for the Knights is Elijah Barksdale for Muhammad Williams. Barksdale, one of the few players that was on the roster last year.
Yeah, not many are returning, or at least that are familiar with varsity minutes or being on the varsity roster.
Top of the key, here's Caldwell. Tries to drive, kicks out. Smith Holly now with it. Here's Barksdale. That shot was deflected, goes out of bounds, and it's the Lions' ball.
And hearing about it from the Lions student section over there. Again, some of the younger players might get a little bit rattled, but the veterans can shake it off a little bit. And you get those shots, sometimes it just slips out of your hand. Didn't look like you got all the power under that one.
I tell you what, it won't affect anything. These players will still be confident with their shot going forward. Is there another whistle?
And that foul went on Barksdale. They'll come back out after briefly checking in. Really hard when, just a true athlete like Spencer Russell cuts the corner. All you can really do is foul.
Russell turns it over. Here's Anthony Moore, full head of steam. They're going to count it and one.
Way to play through the contact. Not just looking to throw the ball up and get 2 free throws. He finished all the way to the rim, and he'll have a chance at an old-fashioned 3.
Anthony Sturdivant picks up the foul as Moore will go for the lead. And he got it.
And he's only the 3rd Richwoods player to score tonight. So far, it has just been the Smith Holly and Marlon Heron show. So Knights trying to get some more guys involved.
You watch Anthony Moore, and Coach William Smith called him a rebound phenomenon, which I don't think you see that often from a freshman that can crash a glass like Moore has done this season.
That's pretty heads up, too. But nice play there by Phoenix Foy, and he just gets it done in the little areas. He may not be the best shooter, but he can rebound, he can finish just like we saw right there.
He really does do a good job. When you look at Peoria High, of course you're going to think Stowers as Smith Holly picked up a foot. You're going to think of LaShawn Stowers, and rightfully so. He's a great player. But Phoenix Foy is just kind of one of these underrated players for the Lions that he's a difference maker when he's on his game.
Yeah, Phoenix Foy is currently leading the team in points, 8 points in the game so far, all coming of the 2-point variety from the paint. So, yeah, he's been the biggest difference maker so far tonight, and many times throughout this season when they played Manual, one of their matchups, I talked to Daniel Ruffin after the game, and he just continued to talk about how valuable it is to have a guy like Phoenix Foy.
Every team needs a guy like that. Jonathan Michael, when he had the call it was the glue guy for Phoenix. He called him a glue guy for Phoenix Foy. Every team searches for one. Not everyone can have one. Stowers underneath with a hard-earned basket.
Yeah, speaking of glue guys, you can't create that. You just kind of have to get fortunate enough to have one come through your program, and that's exactly what they have with Phoenix Foy, but a little frustrated there with some of his younger guys. Maybe a bit of an unnecessary foul, getting a little eager. Fouls are starting to rack up for both sides.
For Nigel Moore, that was his 2nd foul. So he joins Stowers in the 2-foul club for Peoria High.
You can deal with 2 at this point in the game, but again, you start getting to 3 and 4. That can become deadly, especially down the stretch.
Rickman trying to post up. At one point was against Stowers. Here's the 3-point shot from Barksdale, left it short. Fighting for it it was Rickman and Moore, still on the ground, but Moore now has it. Poked away by Heron. Stowers, right place at the right time, double team. And we'll get a timeout so the Peoria High can save possession. A lot going on right there, but the Lions get the timeout and they'll keep the ball.
Yeah, I think it just seems that the approach here for the Knights is just come out and be really aggressive, throw some double teams up and things like that.
20-17 ball game, and we'll take a look at coach profiles for both teams. First, starting with Richwoods, William Smith. He's been at the helm of this program for a long time, 15 years. He knows what this program is capable of, and he believes he has a team that can still make a run, not have their season end tonight.
Yeah, they had some good success. Didn't win a regional title for a while, but these last 2 years have been really good for William Smith. And obviously what he's built at this program, very consistent. They're always going to be a tough-nosed team, homegrown. A lot of kids start and finish their careers at Richwoods. Some transfer in. Definitely speaks volumes to the kind of coach he is.
We'll touch on Daniel Ruffin a little bit later as we resume play. Here's Stowers driving down to the block. Had to kick it out. Fighting underneath is Foy. It's been a huge paint presence, and we'll get a travel. tough defense by the Knights forces yet another Lions turnover.
Yeah, they're lucky that wasn't an offensive foul. Looked like he was kind of bumping bodies. You can probably live with a travel there, but you don't want your best player picking up a third foul.
See pressure by the Lions into the corner. Now Barksdale, good find. Rickman, double dribble. Didn't catch it cleanly. They're going to say he dribbled it once and then dribbled it again after picking it up.
Yeah, I think his brain was just moving a little faster than his body was, and a lot of quick passes right there. That's what they have to do, keep moving the ball around. Don't let Peoria High get set up, but just took that extra dribble, and turnovers going both ways.
Looked like the Knights were going to have a chance to get a good shot off with that ball movement, but instead it's coming the other way. Now Stowers has it, top of the key, going to work on Herron. And a foul underneath. This might be on Caldwell. It will be. So Kingston Caldwell picks up his second foul.
2 fouls all over the place as Smith Holly comes back in. Higher scoring first quarter. We've seen it slow down a little bit, and I think that you come out and you're playing 1,000%. You kind of have to find a cruise control to a degree, but there's another turnover.
Errant pass. Now Craven Bailey. They'll get a whistle on the floor. Craven Bailey, one of the top players for Richwoods. He's another player that hasn't quite got his feet set into this game because he picked up 2 quick ones.
Yeah, so he's had some fresh legs. Elected not to pass it up to Smith Holly. He had a odd man rush there, but gets it to the line and makes good on his first free throw.
Craven Bailey, when I talked with Coach Smith earlier in the year, back on February 1st at the Manual shootout, he said Craven Bailey's kind of taken on a defensive responsibility this year that was seen by Jared Jackson. And, both me and you know how great of a player Jackson was and a huge part of their state tournament team.
Jackson was a special player as Phoenix Foy continues to go to work. But, yeah, he was probably arguably one of the toughest to replace, of course, Lathan Somerville. But, yeah, Jared Jackson filled a great role as a ball handler, as a defender. Just a mega athlete, and he's continued on to the junior college level. Has been doing good things so far there.
Knights up by 3. Smith Holly thought about the shot, but instead gave it up to Bailey. Now here's Caldwell. Could not get the jumper, and Caldwell's just having a hard time trying to find any basket.
Yeah, tough break right there. Got an open look at it. Rim just unfriendly.
And you said it best. He's getting good looks. He's definitely having a chance to put up points. It's just not quite finding the nylon.
William Smith is not going to be unhappy with those shot attempts, simply just not finding the back of the net.
And a push-off, that's going the other way. Very blatant push-off that time.
Again, still maybe a little bit extra selling there, but there is the contact. They have been calling that in this ball game. As Truman Rayer comes in for Richwoods. He's been around the program for a minute as well. But yeah, again, some more offensive fouls costing the Lions.
I think it's just one of those things where, he put out over and back call. Not sure about that one, but what I was saying was anytime you extend the arm, it's just so hard to judge how hard was that. You just almost see it in the heat of the moment, the extension. You kind of almost want to call it.
It's a visual thing, obviously. A lot of noise going on in here. You got to kind of react in real time. And we talk a lot about the officials. It's a very tough job to do if anybody's ever officiated. You know how tough that can be, and especially in a game like this.
Underneath, Foy had it stripped underneath. Here's Anthony Moore. 4 on 5 as Bailey took some time getting back down the court. Now the Knights have all 5 players on offense. Truman Rahr underneath, got the basket.
And didn't use his arm that time, just gave a little bit of a bump. They didn't deem that there was enough contact there and pulls the Knights within 1.
Russell tried to get in position, but instead gave up the basket. almost stolen by Heron.
He got his hand on the basketball, kind of threw him off there and forces Central to reset.
Clock down to 45 seconds. Here's Sturdivant into the paint, and another whistle.
And not free throws yet, but either side, next foul will end up being free throws.
That one went on Amarion Smith-Holly. Be his first foul of the evening.
And they get Muhammad Williams back in there for a late defensive push and an offensive foul. That was a really just kind of brain lapse right there from Sturdivant.
It really was, and you get to this point in the year and it's like you can't afford to have brain lapses like that, just those little mistakes. You got to make the most of possessions, especially late in the half where this could continue to build momentum into the second half.
Certainly, and Richwood's an opportunity now to take the lead with any bucket or possibly tie if they can get to the free throw line.
Muhammad Williams gives it off to Smith-Holly. Clock now under 30, and Coach William Smith will want a timeout for his offense. And at the timeout break, we'll like to thank our sponsors for tonight. First with Holy Family School, brought to you by Holy Family School in Peoria, where we learn, serve, and grow. Our faith-based environment enables students to reflect the light of Christ through humility, love, and sacrifice. We offer art, dance, choir, music, band, foreign language, K-8, one-on-one technology, in K-8, speech, and scholastic bowl. We have athletic teams in volleyball, soccer, basketball, and track and field. Visit PeoriaHolyFamily.com to learn more. And by Red Brand Credit Union. Since 1952, Red Brand Credit Union has been supporting the hardworking families of Central Illinois with great banking services. Red Brand Credit Union member care is exceptional. Visit us at www.redbrandcu.com or come see us in Bartonville and Pekin to see how we can help.
Got a score update from another big 3A regional championship going on in the area. Morton leads Metamora at the half, 26-25, so that is a barn burner just like this one here. We're almost to halftime. See what Richwoods has out of the timeout.
A lot of good games in the area. Some local teams pairing up against each other, some conference rivals. We'll discuss that at halftime. But right now, we want to focus on the end of this one. Rowers' initial shot, no good. Anthony Moore thought he was fouled on his shot. And a travel by Spencer Russell.
Richwoods caught a break there. Moore was looking for a foul. I don't think there was any gravity there. Richwoods fans aren't going to like it, but I think he was trying to sell it a little bit. Good no call, for my opinion.
Clock under 10 seconds. Marlin attacks the basket, knocked away by Russell. And they're going to say it was last off Russell. So the Knights will once again inbound it now with 5.6 on the clock.
I think the thought process here is trying to get the ball inside to draw a foul. But the Lions have made 2 successful stands. Can they make a third one?
Barksdale check back in. He's a great shooter for the Knights. Down to 3. Smith-Holly fade away. No good. One half of basketball all wrapped up here in East Peoria. It's a 22-21 Peoria High advantage. A lot of good basketball going on. Really high scoring in that first quarter, but seemed like those fouls took over in the second.
Yeah, I think it kind of killed the pace a little bit, and both teams just started grabbing on a little bit too much. They're trying to slow the game down and, start to pick up those fouls. Tired legs, second game in 3 days. It's been a long season for both of these sides. So certainly, definitely need to catch their breath at the half, maybe make a few adjustments, and see if they can get the offense started back up.
And great first half action, and we'll send it to break here before we'll come back for halftime coverage. You're watching Clutch Sports Media on CIProud.com.
Trade up to a better future. Trade up to a job you enjoy. Trade up to trade school. At Midwest Technical Institute, you get the skills you need to start a career that moves you up in life towards your goals, your passions, and your dreams. Choose from programs including welding, HVAC, medical and dental assisting, medical coding, and more. Earn the experience, knowledge, and confidence to change your life. Trade school is just the beginning. Start your journey today at midwesttech.edu.
Take the hassle out of pavement restoration with Purdue Pavement Solutions. Whether seal coating, crack sealing, or parking lot repair. And now featuring pavement sweeping. For professional quality pavement craftsmanship, trust Purdue Pavement Solutions.
The heart of Illinois needs volunteers, and you can make a difference. Be part of a global community of people who care. Discover the joy and satisfaction that comes with improving your community and the lives of the people living in it. United Way connects volunteers who are ready to work with opportunities in the local area, driving real change made by individuals like you. Join United Way in improving the lives and communities around us all. Sign up today at volunteer.hoiunitedway.org.
A lost smile is never truly lost.
Many of the patients come in and they're usually trying to cover up the way their teeth look. And when you take them from that, they just come in with a whole different person.
Dentures par excellence, restoring lost smiles.
Meadows Avenue Tap. Slots powered by Gold Rush Gaming, the gold standard in video gaming. Lunch service starting at 11. Meadows Avenue Tap. Discreet gaming, great food, great friends. Our customers have won over 60 million lifetime. Meadows Avenue Tap, East Peoria.
Sam Lehman of Morton, the #1 Ram truck dealer in Illinois and the largest Ram dealer in the Midwest. It's our annual President's Day sales event. This month, take 20% off all remaining 2024 Jeep Wranglers, or save over $16,000 on a 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn when financing through Stellantis. Plus, enjoy a new Jeep Grand Cherokee for only $35,000. Don't miss the President's Day sales event at Sam Lehman of Morton, where we do the deals no one else will.
Hi, I'm Jim Arnold with Wayne Dalton Sales and Service. Improve the curb appeal of your biggest investment, your home, with a new Wayne Dalton garage door. Or for repairs on your existing door, call us for service even on Saturdays. Wayne Dalton Sales and Service. It's in the name because it's what we do.
That mountain of boxes won't pack itself, but Peoria Production Solutions will. Let us handle your packaging and assembly. Our highly trained team uses computerized inventory control and specialized equipment to ensure your customers receive their items on time. Let us help you grow and scale your business. Give us a call or visit peoriapros.com for a quote today.
Welcome back to halftime at East Peoria. Once again, Owen Dimfel and Gavin Russell on the call. And Gavin, we've seen the first 16 minutes. It's maybe a little bit closer game than some people might think.
Yeah, I think that, the presumption would have been, Peoria High would have been able to come out with a little more force. And they've been good so far. They made their fair share of nice plays. But, again, if Wednesday told you anything, Richwoods is going to be able to play with anybody. They can play in a hostile environment. This is very much a new team from last year. Again, they graduated 10 seniors from last season, so they're charting their own path. They've had a terrific season so far, just short of the 20-win mark, and they'd love to play a few more playoff games and make another run at it and really make some Richwoods history.
You said it, and this Richwoods team has really progressed throughout the season, and to the point where they feel like they were playing their best basketball probably right around this time. And you've watched the second matchup, but the previous one before this. What's been a difference you've seen between both teams from that matchup on January 17th to tonight?
Yeah, I think for Richwoods, they kind of got behind early. They were really stagnant from the jump, and they just didn't look very comfortable. It could have been a combination of things, obviously just less experienced at that point in time. That was, again, 5 or 6 weeks ago that they last played. They didn't have Marlon Heron, so maybe just having, that senior on the floor, that presence, gave them, a little bit of more confidence boost here tonight. For Peoria High, I don't see much of a difference. I think they've just kind of caught some bad breaks on some fouls, maybe a few sloppy turnovers to clean up. Other than that, Richwoods has just played a really good basketball game, and they've kept it close. So maybe a couple changes to make. If you're Richwoods, just try to clean up the sloppiness a little bit. They've blown a few opportunities. For Peoria High, look for the outside shot. They have a lot of three-point shooters. They haven't gone to that well much, so try to take advantage of some good three-point shooting and try to step on beyond the arc.
Yeah, I think you make a really good point because they are a good three-point shooting team. But this game, it's been a lot of Phoenix Foy underneath in the paint, but he's done a great job. So do you want to go away from that?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I think you got to take what you can get. So if they're letting Phoenix Foy be open, you take it. He has 10 points in the ball game to lead all scores. So certainly you just kind of have to take what's given and see what you go, make some adjustments throughout the second half.
And we will take one more break as both teams are back onto the court to start warm-ups about 3 minutes before second half starts. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this break. You're watching CSM on CIProud.com.
Need an injury lawyer? Get a fighter. Get a street lawyer like Todd Strong. He's not afraid to get his hands dirty. He'll fight for your rights. Get Todd Strong. He fights like a street lawyer.
My name is Todd Strong, and I've been representing injury victims for over 25 years. I have a team of lawyers that also assist me in the handling of our cases that have aggressive passion to represent injury victims and get the best outcome possible.
Welcome to Braskies. This is your home away from home. First down to last call, we're serving up the good times. Food, drinks, music, and games all under one roof. At Braskies, you'll find what you're looking for.
Peoria Academy is offering exciting camp experiences this summer for children ages 5 to 14. Our general camp includes weekly swimming and field trips. 2-week specialized camps focus on athletics, fine arts, and STEAM, featuring basketball, golf, lacrosse, volleyball, culinary arts, and theater, and so much more. Come explore with us at the camps of Peoria Academy. Register at peoriaacademy.org.
At Ham's Furniture, we have your comfortable, affordable recliners, mattresses, and more. And we offer free local delivery.
Hi, I'm Russ at Ham's Furniture, inviting you to stop in and see what's new today.
Ham's Furniture at 347 Court Street in downtown Pekin.
Class 3A regional title game brought to you by Holy Family School, where we learn, serve, and grow. Our faith-based environment enables students to reflect the light of Christ through humility, love, and sacrifice. We offer art, dance, choir music, band, foreign language K-8, one-on-one technology K-8, speech and scholastic bowl. We have athletic teams in volleyball, soccer, basketball, and track and field. Visit PeoriaHolyFamily.com to learn more. And by Red Brand Credit Union. Since 1952, Red Brand Credit Union has been supporting the hardworking families of Central Illinois with great banking services. Red Brand Credit Union member care is exceptional. Visit us at www.redbrandcu.com or come see us in Bartonville and Pekin to see how we can help. And don't forget Clutch Sports Media Overtime. Subscribe today to look at feature stories, game recaps, and daily roundups. A lot of good stuff on there, so get your subscription today. And on CSM Overtime, you can find all these game recaps of these playoff matchups. A lot of good ones. Gavin just wrote a great one from last night's matchup, DMAC and PND.
Yeah, that was a great matchup on the girls' side, and Notre Dame's headed to the super sectional for the girls' side, but lots of boys' games, coming up, currently in progress. Morton still in front of Metamora by our last update from Jonathan Michael, 29-28. They're in the third quarter. But some other games going on around the area. 1A, Princeville, Illini Bluffs, Delavan, Hayworth all in action right now. Of course, you get to some of the bigger schools, Manual and Tremont. That's a really interesting matchup. Bishop McNamara and Fieldcrest. Curious to see how that one plays out. Normal Community in Minooka. Community's had a really good bounce back year as well. So several things going to be talked about on CSM Overtime. Lots of articles, lots of content. Go get your subscription now. Best time of the year for it.
Absolutely. And it's also worth noting that the winner of this matchup will play the winner of Streeter and LaSalle, Peru next Wednesday night for the sectional semifinal. Here's Stowers down below trying to drive on Caldwell. And we'll get a whistle. So the whistles are back from the first half immediately starting the third quarter.
Yeah, that's maybe something I would have liked to change a little bit. Seeing a little bit less on the foul side of things, but nice job there by Stowers. Hesitation and caught a body, and he goes the line to shoot 2 and makes good on the first free throw.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see Stowers, how he attacks the second half due to the foul troubles, but we're really seeing him just be a paint presence, and he's a good shooter, and I'm just curious if at any point will he start trying to shoot from outside the inner circle.
Yeah, and, I think that's just for Peoria High as a whole. They just haven't done that much tonight. They just have 1-3 in the ball game, and that came in the first quarter. So we'll see if Daniel Ruffin wants to go that direction or try to keep the ball inside.
Maybe an old school matchup, just get the buckets right next to the rim, and that was a turnover by Smith Holly. He might have been poked in the eye, or
yeah, kind of ran into a brick wall right there. Again, Sean Stowers is an imposing figure and a little bit older, a little bit bigger. Forced a turnover.
Craven Bailey tried to wall up Stowers. Here's a three-point shot, rathered around, no good. Moore with the rebound, trying to clear it out, but that was Stephen Williams with the pressure. It'll stay with Richwoods. And this is just really chippy game. We're seeing the players really go at it.
I think a few more people have filed in to fill in the remaining spots, and I think the student sections have grown a little bit since halftime, so everybody's getting involved now, and they know how much this one means.
Great find underneath Craven Bailey. Ties the game at 23.
It's been close throughout. I don't believe the lead's been any bigger than 3 for either side, aside from maybe the first couple of minutes. That's a tough foul call right there. Stowers will shoot his 9th and 10th free throw attempts. He has lived at the line tonight. He's missed a few. Again, you got to make those free throws. You don't want to look back later and say, what if? Got to make the free ones count.
It's never fun to play the what if game, but maybe we can bring up a what if scenario, and that's if this game goes to overtime, we will provide $1 a month right away for overtime, Clutch Sports Media overtime. But like I said, it's got to get to overtime, and we'll see if that will be valid. That'll be valid for 24 hours following the completion of the game. But
well, last time we were here, and we had the same promo. If the game went to overtime, it went to overtime. So we've had good success with that promo while in this gym, and certainly not out of the question as they step out of bounds. Yeah, that'd be a great deal if you can get for just $1.
Absolutely. I mean, I would argue even just the regular base subscription is a great deal for what we provide for the entire Central Illinois area. Every school, team, no matter what, it's covered. There's something in there for anyone.
Really second to none. Not just my bias talking.
Odd play right there as Caldwell tried to bounce it back to Muhammad Williams from the inbound. And I believe Will Smith got a timeout, and he did. So 6:23 here at the third quarter, and Richwoods calls timeout.
They got 3 timeouts left now.
Here at the timeout, we'll take a look at Coach Daniel Ruffin. And the Ruffin family has been a huge integration for Peoria High basketball for a long time.
Yeah, no doubt about it. A very storied program for Peoria High. Won some state titles, obviously the alma mater of Sean Livingston, amongst many other greats. And Daniel Ruffin, former Bradley Brave, so he stayed local to play his college ball. The last time Peoria High won a regional title, it came with his father, Dan Ruffin. So he'd like to carry on that legacy. He'd love to get one of his own, and big opportunity here tonight. Again, we root for Central Illinois, Owen, so I think that definitely some possibility of a good favorable matchup in the sectional semifinal for either one of these teams.
Awkward landing, and we have 2 Knights slow to get up. Phoenix Foy with the slam really excites the Lions, but Amir Muhammad Williams had to limp off to the side. Hopefully he's okay. They weren't able to get a substitution right away. Looks like he's slowly kind of getting better.
They're going to make him sit down, probably just stung, probably rolled the ankle or something a little bit.
It was one of those plays where he jumped up and then landed. You just weren't sure if like a ankle maybe gave out, rolled a little bit.
Yeah, it was kind of an awkward play, but a big swing right there. And 4-point lead feels astronomical right now, Owen, especially with that just absolute rim rattler from Phoenix Foy. He's up to 12 in the game. Kind of a shame we had some injury going on because he threw down a terrific dunk.
It was a great play, and Foy's just picking up where he left off in that first half. Here are the Knights. Another whistle. I mean, it just feels like a broken record, right, Gavin?
A little bit. You know, a few of the calls have been a little more particular than others. But again, I'll defer to the referees. They got the best view and the best angle. Sometimes a hand ends up where it's not supposed to be, a little bit of a push-off.
What I do like, though, is that they're consistent with it.
Very much both ways, yes,
yeah.
indeed.
And Moore, he'll get the whistle, and that was third on Stowers. That was a very aggressive play, both offensively and defensively. And in the end, that was Stowers getting the short end of the stick.
Yeah, he tried to make a play on the ball, selling out there, but now he picks up his third. Really curious if Ruffin will take him out.
As of right now, no one is at the scorer's table for the Lions, so he's going to roll with, it's a regional title. I think you have to roll with your senior leader.
I agree. I think obviously if you got the 4 fouls, that's a different story, but yeah, you got to sell out here, and Peoria High, the best thing for them to do probably is try and extend this lead to a reasonable margin and put a little pressure on Richwoods, and you need your best guys in there to do that. They need Stowers' big-time playmaking.
And it shows Ruffin's trust in Stowers to be able to stay in there, and he knows that he's going to be a player that will play smart.
Yeah, he's going to make the smart play. Again, a little more acting maybe from Muhammad Williams. Didn't get that call. They know, but, Richwoods definitely knows the foul situation. They'd love to force LaShawn to draw his 4th, but another off-the-ball foul, and I believe that one's going on Moore.
That one's on Phoenix Foy, and now he's at 3 fouls. So now the Lions, arguably 2 of their best players, in foul trouble. 3 fouls each, 5.5 to go in the third. Here come the Lions, and a layup. Couldn't see the number. That was Nigel Moore. Now a 5-point line advantage. Oh, whistle underneath for a hold.
I didn't see that foul. Another one away from the ball. The referees have been really keeping an eye on the activity away from the ball this evening, as both teams not even close to halfway through this quarter, both teams nearly in the bonus. So again, consistent, but quite a few fouls as the referees have tried to curb the physicality in this game, but I do believe that's the 5th foul actually now. So 2 shots, rest of the quarter, both ways.
3 fouls on the Knights, I believe, but 5 for the Lions. So
also the scoreboard was incorrect.
So 1 more to give for the Knights, but still the way it's reffing, it might get to that point very quickly whether they reach the 5.
Yeah, they had momentarily, it looks like, added the wrong foul to the wrong team, and he makes good a 1 and 2 at the line.
I did notice that because it said 4 fouls on number 11. That would have been Craven Bailey, but that just didn't seem right, so I knew that was going to be on Cameron Gunn for the Lions. Here's Moore, gives it up to Gunn. Three-point shot, got it. We haven't seen many of them, but Nigel Moore just found another.
Yeah, they needed that one and then a foul on the floor. But that's exactly what they need to do. I think that's really only their maybe third or fourth attempt in the game, Owen. Not many attempts, and that's only their second three-point conversion. That was a big one right there. Their lead balloons to a very big 7 points.
Yeah, 7 points, and now 6 points, but it doesn't seem like that much. But in this game that's been so back and forth, it really has felt larger than what it seems.
Yeah, it feels like just a couple possession lead. It could be the difference maker at the end of the day. As Richwoods continues to hang around a little bit, a couple of big free throws right there from Smith Holly.
And that's Richwoods. They're not going to go anywhere. You know, they're a team that will fight till the final buzzer. Stowers, nice drive, up and over, gets the layup.
And he's just content with taking it inside. We know he can shoot the three ball, but his bread and butter tonight has been taking it to the paint.
A little bit of a half-court press by the Lions. Show a little bit of a different look, see if it will work for them. And really what surprised me is, here's a three-point shot, no good. Brought in by Russell. What surprised me is that in an era of basketball where the three-point shot has really just taken over, and you got two teams that have good three-point shooters, they're still deciding they want to just go down low with it.
Yeah, certainly kind of a different than what we're used to. A lot of teams in the area, big-time three-point shooting teams, but I think it just has to do with, you know, the opponents tonight. You got two teams that love to hate each other, is what we like to say. And they want to be physical, and they want to make their presence felt, and the best way you can do that is take it inside.
Marlon Heron picked up his first foul. So the next Richwoods foul will put the Lions at the free throw line. Russell picked up his dribble, almost got in trouble. Now Stowers, one-on-one with Heron. And that was a foul, and that was just, I feel like Heron just had his hands just at the wrong place. I mean, you could say that about any foul, but I'm struggling to describe it. It just felt like he really wasn't going to foul him, and it's just the way that Stowers brought up the ball so forcefully, it got the whistle.
I think that was a heads-up play from LaShawn Stowers. He recognized the position that Marlon Heron was in, and he just created that contact. Again, Marlon Heron not quick enough to react, but Stowers left a few at the line. Again, don't want to play the what-if game, but he's been about 1 for 2 most of his trips tonight.
About 50% tonight has been Stowers. That time comes up empty.
Marlon Heron caught a break, and maybe some say ball don't lie.
Ball don't lie, then it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row. We mentioned that earlier. We didn't really talk too much about it, but I mean, it's just one of those things in sports, no matter what sport it is, to beat a team consistently multiple times takes a lot more than skill. I mean, sometimes it's a luck factor too.
Yeah, no doubt about that, especially when you've seen a team, and what a play from Marlon Heron. And that's exactly why it's hard to beat a team 3 times. You know, you get a player that's probably itching to be out there. He didn't get to play in their last matchup, to make a big-time senior-level play just like that.
Marlon Heron in the first matchup scored 23 points. He was the leading scorer for the Knights, missed the second game, back again active for this third one, and he's making an impact with that three-point play, trim the lead down to 4.
10 points for Marlon Heron, so he's got a third of Richwoods' points tonight, and he's been huge on both ends.
And really just provided an energy spark, too. There's a travel by Stowers, so now we're seeing some offense turning into defense for the Knights.
What a great play there from Truman Rayer. He was going to take that charge. You know, Stowers had to hit the brakes, knows he can't pick up that foul. Rayer was in great position as it's nearly thrown away. But forced Stowers to travel.
Could have been a disaster. And they're going to say travel by Bailey as he fell down. Maybe he had possession, maybe not. Kind of up for interpretation, but They're going to call it travel, and it's Lions basketball.
Not so sure about that one. You know, it's kind of hard to dictate sometime when a player gets on the floor with the ball. Do they move? Do they travel? Looks like he was just seated on the ground, but they're going to call him for a travel.
Honestly, my first reaction might have been a 10-second call more so than the travel, and another turnover.
Yeah, I was thinking of perhaps not getting the ball over in enough time after an errant pass, but it's been a little sloppy both ways. Neither coach can be super pleased with all the turnovers they've had.
It's going to be probably sloppy at the end of the game, but really neither coach matters too much about that as long as if they can get the win. And another travel. I mean, this game, Gavin, has just been an interesting one, to say the least.
Yeah, there's been a little bit of everything, and again, I think it's just the minds are working a little faster than the bodies are. You know, you get a little bit ahead of yourself. You got to have composure, but not a lot of experienced players out here, so, you know, that's something that comes with experience is gaining that composure. And we'll see if they can kind of grab onto that here in the later minutes.
2 minutes to play here in the third quarter. And it'll be Marlon Heron. So he was a player for the Knights that avoided foul trouble for all of the first half. He's now has 3 fouls just in this third quarter alone.
Yeah, he's got that almost impossible task of playing against LaShawn Stowers, and Stowers has gone on to draw a few fouls, but hasn't converted as much at the line as he would have liked.
After this free throw, Heron will take a seat on the bench, and in for him will be Kingston Caldwell as Stowers puts in the first. Excuse me, they're going to keep Marlon Heron, so apology. I kind of made an assumption. I mean, he motioned to the bench, and it looked like he was going to take a seat, but they're going to keep him in there. And that's exactly why, or exactly like how Stowers was left in after his third foul.
Yeah, you kind of just have to roll the dice at this point as we're coming down the home stretch, 10 minutes left in regulation.
A little bit out of control, turnover. Here comes the Lions in transition, and a carry by Russell. Lost his handle on the basketball, and that hand just got under it.
And they might have gotten away with the foul on the other end. It looks like Heron took a shot, but can't get away with the carry right there. So Richwoods gets a break.
Under 2 to play. It's a 6-point Peoria High lead. Caldwell took a hard fall, but looks to be okay.
Yeah, it's getting physical now. You just feel that intensity just slowly ramping up every second it ticks off the clock.
Both teams know what's at stake, and Caldwell draws the foul on Russell. He'll get 2 chances at the free throw line.
Richwoods doing what they do best. They're hanging around. And that's how they were able to kind of do things on Wednesday. They got Quentin Kidd of East Peoria into foul trouble. And it kind of made big dividends late in the game. Richwoods needs these free throws if they're going to want to stay around for very long.
Yeah, you make a good point about Kitt, who had to go to the bench with his 4 fouls as Caldwell makes the free throw. But that was a huge point because that allowed Richwoods to have some room to make a run, which they did, and that's how they eventually were able to close out the game.
Muhammad Williams playing some great defense again. We know that's what he does.
Stowers going to work, so tough. Flexes towards the crowd after that hard-earned basket.
He's just too strong. Great defense, but a better play.
Back up to a 7-point advantage. Caldwell in the spin cycle. Nice finish.
That was a really professional-looking play right there. He had an idea on his mind of what he wanted to do. He got all the way there, finished with the left hand.
Those are the players that are the most dangerous. Ball knocked away. Smith, Holly, and Moore, the 2 freshmen, knocked away. Jacob Duffin said not today.
What a rejection there from Duffin, and That got the Peoria High faithful really fired up. A big block like that is so big.
What a block by the freshman. I mean, and how about the spin move by Heron? I mean, these guys are just playmakers, Gavin, and it's on full display in this regional title game.
Oh, no doubt. The Stars are showing up. It's a 3-point ball game.
Under 30 seconds to play. Underneath. Missed it. That was Phoenix Foy. Here come the Knights.
Richwoods is grabbing that momentum at the right time, especially if they can hit a shot here in the last 20 seconds.
Down 3. Here is Smith Holly. Gives it up. Heron knocked away, but a whistle on Nigel Moore. And I believe that's Moore's 4th foul. And it was.
Yeah, that's a big foul right there. I'm assuming he's going to take a seat. Maybe not, considering Peoria High should have the last shot of the quarter. Big free throws for Marlon Heron, can pull it within 1 as he has 1 more to shoot here at the line.
This third quarter looked like Peoria High could have ran away with it, but Richwoods has done a good job in the last 2 minutes of this quarter fighting back to now just a 1-point deficit. 5 on the clock. Stowers looks like he'll be the one to take the shot. Created space. 3-pointer, no good off the front end of the rim. 3 quarters down, 1 to play. A Class 3A regional championship on the line. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Dentures themselves do not have to cause pain, but many times that's not the case. Dentures also should look natural and look nice. So the things that we do is try to make it look nice and make sure you're not uncomfortable.
Dentures par excellence, restoring lost smiles.
In 1957, Cyril and Lewis Keller invented the skid steer in Rothsay, Minnesota to make farming and agriculture work much easier. Since then, Bobcat has become an integrated and trustworthy household brand. Being the first to bring the mini excavator to North America, Bobcat revolutionized the industry with compact tractors, utility tractors, mowers, and other equipment. Quick and agile, Bobcat is one tough animal. Locally owned and operated since 2001 in Bloomington and Peoria, Illinois.
Meadows Avenue Tap, slots powered by Gold Rush Gaming, the gold standard in video gaming. Now serving breakfast Saturday and Sunday at 7. Meadows Avenue Tap, great breakfast, discreet gaming. Our customers have won over 60 million lifetime. Meadows Avenue Tap, East Peoria.
And we're back for the 4th quarter between Richwoods and Peoria High. And not too far down the road, also in the same sectional, is Morton and Metamora. 54 seconds remaining in that game. Metamora ahead, 43-42.
As close as it gets. Great basketball all over the Peoria area. Doesn't matter what gym you go to. And we got a great one in front of us here. But here's see how that one ends.
We'll stay with the Knights, and our Jonathan Michael is at that game, providing us with score updates, but also will have a story to follow on CSM Overtime. And once again, like to say, if this game goes to overtime, we will run a $1 first month special for 24 hours following the completion of this game. But once again, it's got to be if it goes to overtime. Ball on the ground right now. Here come the Lions. Nigel Moore gives it up to Russell, and 2 Knights both pretty much fouled him at once.
Yeah, we've seen maybe a few borderline calls tonight, but that was one of the more certain fouls. Spencer Russell caught a few arms on his way up, and this is a big moment here as Marlon Heron now picks up his 4th foul.
It'll be very interesting to see what Smith is saying to him right now and whether he keeps him into the game. I think he will keep him in. And we've said it before. You want your seniors to be playing regardless of what the foul trouble looks like. You have trust in them to finish this game, and you just hope that they can do that.
It'd be pretty impressive if he can last 7 minutes and 45 seconds, but anything that Marlon Heron can give out there in this next stretch is going to be huge for Richwoods. Russell makes good a 1 at the line. It feels like Richwoods, if they can hit a big shot right here, really take the momentum in their favor.
Lions working with a little bit of a zone press, it looked like at first. Shot way too much, but on the rebound, I believe that was Codwell.
That was Marlon Heron, actually. There's a couple green jerseys in the area, but way to look for the rebound and the basket.
Heron tied it up, but Stowers takes it right back.
Back and forth we go. It's been that way pretty much the whole game as Richwoods tries to figure out this zone look.
Smith Holly, pull up. What a shot. Smith Holly, one of the biggest shots of his young career already.
That was a gutsy shot right there. Ice in his veins. It gives Richwoods the lead. I haven't seen many leads tonight aside from the first couple minutes of the ball game, but they're really starting to put the pressure on Peoria High now. They're a little more experienced. We'll see if the Lions can clutch up here in the late minutes.
It's the first lead for the night since it was 12-9 in the first quarter. Duffin thought about taking the corner three, but instead gave it up to Moore. Moore drives inside. Nice find. Could not finish, was Foy. Right place, right time, Jacob Duffin.
But again, Phoenix Foy making that happen. He's the one that got in there, knocked the ball over to Duffin. Peoria High back in front.
Created the space, and that was all Duffin needed to make that play. Almost a turnover and a hard foul. Spencer Russell on Muhammad Williams.
Yeah, I think Spencer Russell, again, just wrong place, the wrong time, trying to reach out for that loose ball and ended up catching the body of Muhammad Williams.
I think if Muhammad Williams didn't know that Russell was a football player, he definitely figured it out after that.
Certainly.
Oh, Peoria High, just strong athletics program, football, basketball, you really name it. They have great athletes right now, and they've had a long history of great athletes, and one of them is now their head coach.
No doubt about that. Really all over Central Illinois. Just great high school athletics community. We love it so much, and two of the best going at it tonight.
What a move by Heron, just could not finish, gets his own miss, and Craven Bailey wide open underneath, gets the second chance opportunity. Knights back ahead.
And Richwoods is just doing enough of the little things to get themselves in front.
Bailey stepped up, tried to knock the ball away, and he picked up a foul in doing so.
And again, I think this has just been Richwoods' kind of, bread and butter all year long. Is they're athletic. Obviously, there's great skill for Richwoods, but they just outwork opposing teams. They're well conditioned. They get on the glass. They force turnovers. All those things can really change the tide of a game, and it has here tonight.
Stowers tried to post up Muhammad Williams. Jump shot, rather round, no good. Moore brings it in. Smith Holly brings it up on Russell. Down low is Heron against 4 Lions and gets the foul. Started one-on-one, but the Lions collapsed on him immediately.
Heron going back to the line, and he's been money, and that's 5 on Nigel Moore, so he's done for the evening. That's our first foul out. Got to remember, too, Marlon Heron also has 4 fouls, so we could see a few players probably have to go to the bench sooner than later.
First free throw missed by Heron. And what if this game goes to overtime?
Yeah, that would really start to kick up the interesting factor. If you lose some of your players, you got to play 4 more minutes. I think both these teams are hoping they just win it in regulation, don't even have to cross that bridge.
Absolutely, and yeah, if that happens, you might have to go deep into your bench players that might not have played in the last playoff game or really recently. Timeout on the floor for the Lions.
Yeah, Daniel Ruffin definitely wants to get his team settled down. Just a little shook up right now, not quite in sync, and this is the time you need to really pull it together, draw up a good play, get a little momentum back in your favor, because Richwoods has really been into this one. They kind of started taking that momentum probably 2 or 3 minutes, give or take, in the third quarter and just have not let go of it since. They've given up a few baskets here and there, but consistently have pulled themselves back in front. That's just winning basketball.
It is. And, yeah, going back to that 2 minutes in the third quarter, it was a 34-27 Peoria High lead. And since then, I mean, now it's the Knights by 2. They've done a good job. Games like this, it's a battle of attrition. And both teams are just trying to find a way. Like I said in the beginning, survive and advance is the mantra for games like this. Nice inbound play. What a play! Jacob Duffin, skies high.
That's exactly what they needed. What a draw up there from Daniel Ruffin.
And a nice basket by Heron. He's coming alive in this fourth quarter, as he did in the regional semifinal. Nice find underneath Duffin. Now back-to-back possessions with the basket. Smith-Holly very quickly missed it, brought in by Duffin. All of a sudden, Jacob Duffin leaving a fingerprint on this ballgame.
Yeah, Jacob Duffin has been massive in this one. He's got 6 points here in this fourth quarter alone, including that alley-oop inbound dunk. Just an absolute slam. What a play from the sideline out of bounds, rather the baseline out of bounds. That last sequence there, as good as Smith-Holly has been, maybe showing a little bit of inexperience, tried to take on the Lions squad by himself. Might have tried to slow it down a little bit. Gives Peoria High a chance to take the lead again.
Never a good idea to go into a den of Lions by yourself.
Certainly not. And Duffin, once again, 8 points here in this fourth quarter.
And we're just seeing the freshman just really take over at a big moment. He's really earning his stripes in the playoffs. Not to say he hasn't earned his stripes in the regular season, but especially right now in postseason basketball. What a basket! Amir Muhammad Williams.
And just both ways, there's a call and a response every single time. This is the great back and forth basketball we come to know and love here in Central Illinois, and it's not disappointing tonight.
Muhammad Williams knew he missed it right away, tried to get the rebound, but instead it was Stowers first to the basketball. All notched up at 49. Drive by Stowers, a little out of control. There's going to be a foul on a Knight. Wonder if this would be Caldwell. And it will be.
Quick score update from that Metamora-Morton game. Haven't heard a final as of yet, but 45-42. Last update was with 11 seconds left to go in the game, and Metamora in front 45-42.
So very close to wrapping up that game. Handing out a regional title trophy. We are 3:33, maybe more, from handing out that here in East Peoria.
Selfishly, I don't want it to end. Richwoods in the last few years on Clutch Sports Media has played some terrific overtime games, including a 5-overtime thriller against Peoria High. So certainly a history of OT, and I'd love to see it tonight.
These two teams have lived up to overtime games for sure. Yeah, that 5-overtime game just 2 years ago in the Dungeon. I mean, I believe both you and I were working that game, and a lot to go in this one. And a push on Stowers. That's a foul where you're just, that's an avoidable foul.
It is. Maybe, again, depending on your stance on this game, maybe a little bit ticky-tack, but that's a really tough one. So now the two senior key men for both teams, Heron and Stowers, both with 4 fouls.
Smith-Holly from the corner, no good. Tapped around, Caldwell has it again, no good on his chance. Duffin finally with the basketball.
Just the longer arms of LaShawn Stowers able to get that one.
Here's Russell going right at Heron. Charge! Oh my, that would have been a big call. You were waiting. It was Marlon Heron underneath. You weren't sure if he was going to get the block or the charge, and that time it was the charge on Russell.
Looked like he had good position, so definitely a tough break there for Spencer Russell, but a nice take by the Knights. As this one, the next basket feels like it could be a big game changer.
Whistles on the court. Stop play.
I think we have some perspiration. A lot of bodies have been hitting the deck, and certainly don't want to see anybody roll an ankle or twist a knee or something like that on a wet spot.
Definitely would not like to have that. Refs want to make sure they can have that under control. But yeah, I mean, going back to what you said, whoever scores the next basket is really going to have the inside track at finishing this one on top. It's 49-49. In a final score, Metamora victorious over Morton, 45-43.
That's a big one. Potter's had a great season. Congratulations to them on a fantastic year. But Metamora keeping the legacy alive. They get the regional chip.
Duffin blocked him from behind. And Anthony Moore got the ricochet and draws the foul.
And obviously we said the next basket could be huge, but the next free throws could be huge. And both sides have missed their fair share. So it's kind of a moot point either way now, but both teams have had their chances squandered. But none bigger than these right here for Moore.
Foy picks up his fourth foul, so both Foy and Stowers, as of right now, are still in the game with 4 fouls each, as Anthony Moore knocks in his first free throw.
And Nigel Moore has already fouled out of this one, so 3 of the most key players for Peoria High all have either fouled out or nearly fouling out. It's certainly something to keep an eye on. Again, I don't think the Lions really want to mess around with overtime in this one.
Left it short, so another 1-for-2 opportunity. We don't have the official stats on the free throws for both teams, but there's been a lot of points just left there. Stowers stop and drive underneath, great layup. Lions back ahead by 1.
Stowers is certainly making his mark on this one. Leaving nothing to chance, and the senior just doing what he does best. Take it in, get easy 2.
2 minutes to play. You can just feel the crowd getting anxious, knowing that the time is dwindling. And a charge on Marlon Heron, and that'll do it. Marlon Heron in disbelief on that charge call. And he'll take a seat, 155, not knowing if that was his last play in high school basketball.
That would be a really, really tough way to go out. And if that was it for Marlon Heron, what a terrific game. He did everything he possibly could do, just got caught with that 5th foul on the charge.
Drive, little out of control. Orlando Edwards Jr. Stowers tried to pick it off like a safety. Will Smith is upset with Bailey with that decision.
Yeah, understandably so. Not the time in the game for that. Turnovers at this point in the game are critical, that you need to avoid that. Richwoods just fortunate they got it back. Stowers hit the deck pretty hard and could not handle it.
Thankfully, Stowers was okay on that because that was a hard fall. I mean, he really skied into the air, looking like a free safety, trying to get that ball.
Perhaps as a Peoria High football team wondering why he wasn't playing earlier this year.
I mean, he would have been a tremendous tight end.
Oh, certainly, but I think basketball has been his primary focus, and
rightfully so.
Lots of other great Lion football players. They made a nice little run, won a couple playoff games, and looks like Will Smith will get a timeout.
Yeah, came close to a 5-second call on that inbound, but instead they'll talk things over and reset the inbounds pass. So 51-50, Peoria High leading with 1:39 to play here at East Peoria. This 4th quarter has just been leaving people on the edge of their seats.
It's got me on the edge of my seat, Owen. I think you can just feel the nervous anticipation in the game. Marlon Heron out now, Nigel Moore out, so each side has one player fouled out. I think Heron is probably arguably the more important player to foul out. considering what he's meant to Richwoods. But looking at Marlon Herron's final totals, trying to get it tallied up here. But yeah, he was well into double figures in the ball game. $19 points for Marlon Herron. I believe that might have matched what he had the other night, or something close. And Marlon Herron,
he had 16.
So just surpassed his total from the other night. But he left it all in the court and didn't even get to play in the last couple minutes here. Who knows what he could have done if he stayed in the game.
Here's Smith Holly starting with the possession. Truman Rahr trying to post up, and here comes Moore. Smith Holly pull-up jumper, left it short. Rahr almost had the putback. Here's a 2-on-1 opportunity. Gives it up to Foy. High off the glass and in. Lions by 3. Timeout, Ruffin.
Yeah, that's a big play right there from Phoenix Foy. It was a good shot. Looked like a good look there from Smith Holly. Don't mind the play. But Lions just too quick the other direction. And that 3-point lead feels huge, considering Richwoods has really not done much from behind the arc. Just a couple of threes tonight for Richwoods.
You know, it's going to be Richwoods ball coming out of this timeout. If you're Coach Smith, what are you telling your team in this huddle right now?
Just do what we've done all game. You know, look for the best possible shot. You don't got to feel like you have to rush it. You know, you can take 20 or 30 seconds here, but just get a quality look. Get to the free throw line, get inside for 2. You don't have to hit a 3 here. Peoria High struggled from the free throw line tonight, so you can play the foul game down the stretch. There's still a few players on Richwoods that have fouls to give. So just be composed, have a good set right here, and most importantly, don't turn the ball over.
Very stern waving of the finger by Gavin Russell. Do not turn the ball over, but it's...
I'd imagine Will Smith was doing something similar. Maybe a few points going on in there. No turning the ball over. Keep your head in the game.
But that is something you have to talk about when you have young guys that aren't used to playing playoff basketball. Here's Codwell. Nice drive. Did not have the basket. Moore with it. He was pushed. No whistle. And then finally a travel? I mean, maybe it looked like there could have been a travel earlier, but then it just seemed like a late. He was already on the ground.
I think Will Smith had definitely been calling for a timeout quite a bit sooner. And just so loud in here, maybe hard for the official to hear initially. Richwoods, Burns, one of their 2 remaining, so they just have 1 left. So keep an eye on the timeout situation, which is obviously very key in high school. I definitely think Peoria High got away with a couple of calls right there, considering how the game's been called. Lions are lucky they didn't have a foul call right there, but Richwoods another opportunity. Still surviving in this ball game, and another chance to maybe draw something in off the inbound.
They'll have a chance, and that's all you can ask for. And, you know, the biggest thing I think is that throughout this whole game, Richwoods has never looked rattled. Even at points when Peoria High led most of the game and got up to about 7-point lead, they never turned down and turned away, folded up shop, however you want to call it. And I think that's important to remind them in this final minute, is that just because they're up 3 right now and they made a big basket underneath in a 2-on-1 transition, doesn't mean you guys can't go out and make another big bucket to either shorten it to 1, maybe even tie it.
Certainly not, Owen. This is a big possession right here. You just got to get it in bounds, first of all.
Smith Holly is the recipient. 3-point shot, no good. Right there was Caldwell, and a foul. That's on Phoenix Foy. He's going to check out of the game.
Wow, what a big foul out from Phoenix Foy. So second Lion to come out, and Phoenix Foy understandably emotional.
The Richwoods fans waving goodbye to Phoenix Foy. Foy just a junior, but he had a great game tonight. He kind of got the scoring started and he set the bar for the Lions tonight.
Yeah, he had 10 first half points, finishes with 14 in the ball game.
huge free throw by Kingston Caldwell.
So I think now if you're Richwoods, obviously, you need to get the ball back at some point. You're not going to be able to tie it right here. But maybe take a few seconds, try and get a steal, and then know your assignment. Who are you fouling? Definitely quite a few options, and some shooters have been struggling from the free throw line tonight.
Big free throws by Caldwell makes it a 1-point game. Down to 50 seconds, Lions with the basketball. They can play defense to try and get a stop, but you wonder for how long, and Ruffin wants a timeout. Make sure his team is under control with this big possession.
But as much as this will do for Peoria High to obviously figure out their strategy here in the final 43 seconds, this is big for Richwoods. You again, know your assignments, understand, hey, who do we want to foul, who's been struggling from the free throw line. This is where your assistant coaches and things come in handy. They've been keeping track of those little minute details. Obviously, discussing there, hey, maybe how do we get a steal? How can we force a turnover, draw an offensive foul, something of that nature? There's a lot of possibilities. Just got to see how it shakes out.
And I think for the Lions, Ruffin might want to avoid anything in the corner that is easily double teamed to trap to maybe a turnover. That is what you really want to avoid. And you got great ball players. There really isn't a guy you need to avoid getting the basketball to. You have full trust in them. If they get fouled, they can go to the free throw line, as both teams are already past the 5 threshold. But you have LaShawn Stowers, a senior who has been a staple of the program for the past 4 years. You got to feel like this one is going to belong to him.
I think it does, and he's missed a few free throws in this game, but I think when it matters most, you got to go to your senior leader. And even so for Richwoods, even with 2 free throws, it's still a 1-possession game. So a lot of possibilities here in the last 40 seconds.
Bailey guarding his former teammate. 35 to play for a regional title. Stowers just running around with the basketball. Clock is dwindling. At some point, the Knights might have to think about fouling, and Smith Holly takes charge in doing so.
And again, I understand the thought process there. They're trying to get a 5-second close guarding call. They're trying to see if Stowers will, make a pass or something. But I think that timeout really ended up just being, hey, leaving LaShawn's hands. He's going to be our most trusty ball handler. Now he gets a line. 2 huge free throws.
Makes the first. Lions by 2. 20.5 on the clock. When they first started that inbound, it was about 57.5, so a good 37 seconds came off.
And now I think it's just going to come down to Richwoods going down to shoot a 3-pointer with that 3-point lead now.
Friendly roll by Stowers. 55-52, Smith Holly trying to get open. Anthony Moore, no good on the 3, rebounded by Spencer, 9 seconds to go, and a foul. Peoria High in line to try and close out this game.
Didn't mean to cut you off there, but this is really here to ice it, and you've got one of your other big seniors, a man that's made for the moment. He's been there with football. Now he's here with basketball. It's Spencer Russell. And one more could do the trick.
One more will go a long way with 9.2 on the clock. Currently, Lions by 3. Makes the first, and it's now 4.
It's only Russell's 2nd point of the game, but it's probably the biggest point of the game, as that one puts it out of reach. 2-possession game now.
You'll look at the stat sheet and say he only had 2 points, but those points were weighted heavily.
Make it 3 points.
Make it 3 points, and now 5-point lead. Richwoods will just do what they can. Barksdale misses the 3, tipped out. Russell, ball in hand, and for the first time since 2013, the Peoria High Lions are regional champions.
Wow, what a ball game, Owen. Came down just to those final seconds. and you see the celebration on the court there. This means something to these people. This really means something. What a special game, and congratulations to the Lions. Definitely making some history, and they'd love to keep this thing going. They want a few more pieces of hardware before it's all said and done.
They want a little bit more, and, you know, first time since 2013. That means nobody on this roster has been a part of a varsity team, basketball team, that came home with hardware. Now they get to do that. And now they get the ladders out and to cut the nylon, and that's a special feeling, Gavin.
They are this is terrific. Congratulations to the Lions. Definitely a special moment. And taking down a city rival just a few minutes from your home school. Definitely a special feeling, and they'll stay local as they'll play either Streeter or LaSalle Peru not too far away over in Washington, just down the road.
Peoria High has had a good draw for the playoffs. They avoided the regional with Kankakee, Metamora, and Morton.
That's what you get when you're the best seed. You know, when you're the top seed, you know, everybody else is below you.
And we'll send it to break here before we start our post-game wrap-up. But before we go, 57-52 final score, Peoria High champions.
Winter weather in central Illinois can change in an instant. That's why you need a forecast you can trust.
WMBD is your local weather authority and your secret weapon to stay ahead of the storm.
So whether it's a foot of snow in Bloomington,
icy roads in Peoria, or gusty winds in Washington,
you'll be the first to know no matter where you are. On the air, online, and on the go with the See I'm Proud to Go app.
WMBD, Central Illinois proud.
And we're back at East Peoria High School as the Lions capture a 3A regional title over the Richwood Knights. And, you know, we've already highlighted how the Lions really feel in this moment. But for the Knights, they just had their season come to an end. It was a season of change, and they weren't sure what this team was going to look like. But they really came together, and they found a way to put together a productive season. They may not have went back to Champaign as they did last year, but there is something to be said about this group and what they accomplished this season.
Oh, no doubt about that. What a special season for Richwoods. You know, probably had a lot of people doubting them early on, but they finished with a positive record, just short of the 20-win mark for a team that was almost entirely brand new, aside from maybe 2 or 3 players. And to have a bunch of freshmen and sophomores come out, perform the way that they did, you know, introduce some new transfers and things. They did a tremendous job. They knocked off East Peoria. That alone, I think, was a big trademark win to come onto, you know, the host floor and win that one. But certainly a special year, nothing to be sad about if you're Richwoods. They've got a lot coming for the future. You know, they've got some great players. They're going to be back next year, 2 years, 3 years to come. And again, you think about some of those seniors that have been around, were around last year during that state title run. Marlon Heron, he gave it his all tonight. Finished with a great stat line, 19 points, and certainly nothing to be ashamed of if you're Marlon Heron, Will Smith, and the Richwoods Knights from their performance tonight.
The Peoria High Lions complete the season sweep over Richwoods, 3-0, and now have some hardware to go along with it. But their road doesn't end. I mean, they still got a lot to go in front of them, but it's a big step forward. They're going to play the winner of Streeter and LaSalle Peru next Wednesday night in the sectional semifinal. The sectional final game will be next Friday night. But you can celebrate in the moment now, but they still know there's a lot of work left to be done.
Oh, certainly there is. And, you know, you talk about the next game, definitely not going to be a slouch of a team coming from a little bit farther north in Illinois. And then, you know, if they are able to advance to the sectional final, not jumping too far ahead, but it will be either Metamora or Kankakee. And those are 2 formidable foes. You know, Metamora has been doing it the last few years. They've been a fantastic program. And Kankakee, you know, speaks to themselves that they are a fantastic athletic school as well. So they have the work cut out for them. The road to Champaign might be harder than Champaign itself. Definitely going to have some great crowds. Hopefully we can catch a couple more of these games. A lot of coverage coming. Certainly enjoying talking to all these players and coaches in the playoffs, and just looking forward to what next week will bring.
And how about for some final point totals and final thoughts from this game, Gavin?
Yeah, just looking at some final thoughts for Peoria High. We talked about the season that Richwoods had, but lots of players got involved. LaShawn Stowers finishes with a game-high 21 points. A lot of that coming from the free throw line. Jacob Duffin, how about the second half that he had 8 points in that fourth quarter for 10 in the game. Phoenix Foy finishes with 14 points. Nigel Moore had 6 points despite fouling out, and a handful of other Lions getting involved. So team effort, a lot of players stepping up when it mattered most, and that's exactly what you need this time of year. Survive and advance, find ways to get the job done. It doesn't matter if it's pretty, just get to the next game and live to fight another day.
Survive and advance, and that's what Peoria High has done. It's been a great night of basketball. There's a lot more to be continued, both on the boys' side and the girls' side. So stay tuned for further broadcasts. And for tonight's group, Jalen Harris on the camera, Joshua Messenger doing a great job producing behind the computer. And for my broadcast partner, Gavin Russell, I'm Owen Dimple signing off. Peoria High, regional champs, 57-52 over Richwoods. Have a good evening, everybody, and we'll see you next time on CIProud.com.